for joining this live session. Um, on behalf of ISKCON Hillsborough, I would wish to thank everybody for your time that you have taken out to be present on this live session here from Camas, Washington. So the topic for today is joy in stress. And before we begin the topic, let's chant the invocation mantras. So if you know the mantras, please say from the convenience of wherever you are. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute ताप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai. So, the topic for today, it's called joy in stress. And as we begin any auspicious activity, we generally recite Jai Radha Madhav prayers. So we shall do that now. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Once again, thank you all very much for joining us today for this Sunday Feast presentation. So the topic for today, joy in stress. Everybody who is in this material existence at some point or time in their life goes through stress, including children, adults, elderly, whether we are devotees or practicing devotees or not yet devotees, whoever is hearing this presentation, everybody, right? You can count, they all go through stress. Now, what does the Bhagavad Gita say about stress? And by the way, in Bhagavad Gita also, the whole Bhagavad Gita is spoken in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which was a place where Arjun was to lead the army into battle, and he had a lot of stress on him and he was confused. So, the stress that he had, how did he relieve that stress? In this presentation, what we are going to see is what is stress, how many types of stress are there, and then what how do so the awareness of the surroundings, that is very important, the surroundings in which we live. And then furthermore, we will analyze what is going on, right? Why do we get so stressful? And then finally, action, what can happen from our side in order to relieve the stress? What is the temporary solution and what is the permanent solution as given from the Shastric point of view? So with that, we'll go to the next slide here. Stress is a feeling of emotional or physical tension. This is very important to understand. It's a feeling that we have of being very emotional or feeling very physically tensed. There's two types of stress mentioned. One is the negative stress. It's called distress also, which occurs when a person feels unable to perform or to cope with the situation. This feeling can be short or long term. Now, for the purposes of our presentation here, we will speak about negative stress, right? The positive stress, it's also called eustress, may include an upcoming wedding, holidays, or pregnancy, or some jovial event for which you need to prepare very hard. And that preparedness stage gives you stress. So we will not be focusing on that one because that is able to be easily handled and is very short lived. On the other hand, the negative stress results in full blown stress response. If continuous negative stress can lead to loss of productivity, health problems, and exhaustion, then therefore we should focus and try to find what is the solution available from scriptures on this particular issue. So for our presentation here, as I said, we'll focus on negative stress. There's the what I call the triple A formula. And in that, what we do is we gain awareness of our surroundings. We analyze the situation, then we take action. Now, so for awareness stage, we find that in any kind of situation where one gets stressed, there is three causes of action that people take. One is fright, they get frightened. Second is fight, they want to fight the situation, come out of it. A third is flight, they want to run away from the situation, right? The function of stress is to bring out the best response in us. How do we respond to the situation? Are we reacting or are we responding? And by looking at these three, fright, fight, or flight, we determine in any given situation what action to take. And now, in order to determine that, let's take an example from the modern society. We had problems of being late, right? So modern society created various infrastructure, including supersonic cars, including cars and other devices, other machines, as we say, that are operating today to enable us to go from one point to another. So that led to other problems as well in society, right? So these attempting to satisfy the temporary problems that exist led to a permanent problem. We're trying to address a temporary problem of being able to fulfill our travel time with least amount of uh, least amount of time spent commuting, and we ended up creating a much bigger problem. So in order to address these temporary problems, we need to have a permanent solution rather than a temporary solution, because these temporary solutions also can create much bigger problems. So this is just one example. There are other examples that we can think of, deforestation and so forth. Now let's go to the next slide. We find from The Economist, which is a journal that is out there, that these things have always been on the rise, no matter how many types of solutions we try to bring into place in society. Violence, murder, suicide, unemployment, corruption, mental stress, addiction of drugs, rape, divorce, and so many other things are happening. And this is constantly on the rise. It's going up, right? Why is that happening? If we have so many resources and solutions and everything else in place, why are all these things happening? So this is trying to become aware of the surroundings in which we are today, right? And then having known that, the causes of stress, one of the main things is unhealthy lifestyles. Sometimes people think that if we have the most of everything, then I will win. I will be a winner at death. Why? Because I will leave behind the maximum money, maximum wealth, resources, houses, whatever be it, for my family. But hey, what have you won? Right? You've lost this one opportunity, the human life, in order to advance permanently out of the cycle of birth and death. But you have ended up just repeating the cycle of birth and death by constantly just being engaged in things that are for material sense gratification. And then while doing that, you have accumulated so much stress and dissatisfaction. So, in order to improve and have a healthy lifestyle, then we have to know what practices of a healthy lifestyle are given from the scriptures, right? And our focus will be that later on. Now, another reason why people have stress is because there is a wide gap between what people are expecting and the actual reality, right? Everyone wants to have everything in life, but can you really achieve that? Can you really have everything and are fully satisfied with everything? No, that's not possible. We cannot, first of all, have everything. Second of all, what we have, we are not content with what we have, and we try to get into more and more, and the wants never ever cease to exist. We keep wanting to accumulate more and more, right? The greed that is out there, that is never ending. And the problem is, in reality, one cannot have everything. So if we understand the reality, then one finds oneself in a position where one can be satisfied with what one has, right? And as we continue this description, we see that the wide gap between expectation and reality is the gap that we are trying to fulfill all the time, and that leads to stress, working extra hours, right? More than 40 hours a week, trying to solve that problem that is existing that we think is a problem to begin with. What is the thought? The thought is, I have a problem of finance, I have a problem of wanting to buy a house, something, wherein I need to spend a lot of time to get the resources in order to do this activity. And that leads to stress on an individual. Now, going further, so George Carlin is an American comedian, and I liked it very much. Therefore, I put this here out so that people can see life, it makes you think. This is the title of the poem here. The paradox of our time in history is that we have taller buildings, but shorter tempers, wider freeways, but narrower viewpoints. We spend more, we have less. We buy more, but enjoy it less. This is very amazing, right? It's true as well. If you see, so many people, they have very short tempers, right? But the human race has built such tall buildings out there, and our tempers are not very are very short. They are not very stable. Wider freeways, if you go, you find 5 lane, 6 lane freeway, 3 lane freeway, right? But the viewpoints of people are very narrow. We spend more. We have the credit card, right? Even though you don't have a single penny in the bank, you can still purchase. You can buy more and more. Shop till you drop is what they say. So all these things, when we do, we have to go through some level of stress. We buy more, but we enjoy it less. Now people are shopping for houses, right? Buying this, that. $1 million house, if somebody's buying that and there's a lot of debt, then the tension is, how will I, when and how will I end up paying completely on my house, right? And then for that, the stress builds up and people have to work hard and hard. So the enjoyment factor in buying that house is very little after some time. Then Carlin continues and he says, we have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences, but less time. We have more degrees, but less sense, more knowledge, but less judgment, more experts, but less solutions, more medicine, but less wellness. Analyzing each one of these is very interesting. If you see, people have bigger houses, right? 4, 5, 6 bedroom house and have a family of 2 or 3 maybe. More conveniences, but we have less time, right? People have built so many things, but nobody really has time to go and do all those things that has been built, right? We have more degrees but less sense. So people you talk to, PhD and blah blah blah, right? You can have all these different sorts of degrees in different fields, but when you talk about common sense, what to do, what not to do, there the judgment that is there is very low. And then there are more experts, but the solutions that we have, these are temporary solutions. Experts will give, in the material realm, they will give you very temporary solutions. It's called the band-aid approach, which we'll see later on. There is more medicine. There is no shortage. There is discoveries happening every day, right? Every hour, new things are being discovered. So much is there in medicine one can think of. Why is there such a supply? Because of course there's a demand, right? Why is there a demand? Because there is less wellness of people. Health is very deteriorating for everyone, right? We know that is the condition of the material world. It's dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It's full of misery and very temporary in nature. Now he continues. George says, we have multiplied our possessions but reduced our values. People have so many things, but the value they lack in. We talk too much but love too seldom. We hate too often. We've learned how to make a living but not a life. We've added years to life, but not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet the new neighbor next door. That's a problem, right? This is the reality of life, right? We might see here in America people living, who is living to us in our next door. We don't know, most of us, right? And that relationship building and gap that exists is continuing to grow. So there is different things here. We've learned how to make a living, right? We make a living by working, but not a life. In a life, you have to be satisfied, content, happy, right? The purpose of life. But we are not achieving that. We continue to make our living, but we don't have our family life. We've added years to life, but not life to years, right? What that means is we have to be happily living our life. We have added years to life, means we try to do exercise and get some longevity, but we are still, and that's not bad. But the thing that is missing is that we have not added life to the years that remain, which means we are not content and happy and satisfied in the way we are living, right? We always hanker for something more. With that, George takes us to this. He said, we've conquered outer space, but not inner space. We have cleaned up the air, but polluted the soul. This is very important because uh, clean air, we had smoke situation, right, in many parts of the country. And people had air purifiers and whatnot in their homes, right? We've tried to clean the air around us so that the body can stay healthy. But what have you done for the soul is the question. Have you done anything at all? And we will see what the scriptures say we should do. We've split the atom, but not our prejudice. We are still having that element of anger, grief, prejudice towards others. We have higher incomes, but lower morals. We've become long on quantity, but short on quality. So working long hours, not able to deliver in quality, essentially, right? In whatever sphere of life you want to talk about. So all these things, life, it makes you think. These are times of tall men and shorter character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are times of world peace but domestic warfare, more leisure but less fun, more kinds of food but less nutrition. These are days of two incomes but more divorce, of fancier houses but broken homes. These are the times that we live in. And this is very general. It's not targeted to any one of us here on the call, but this is the state of the economy in which we live, of the entire world. You know, people are going through these, and many of us can relate to, if not everything from there, then certain elements for sure. And I chose that because it is very very much a logic in what he had said, and it's very, very applicable. It is a time when there is much in the show window and nothing in the stock, right? So in the show window, through the window, clear glass, you can see there's a good display of everything. But inside, if you go, there is nothing in stock. And that's essentially reflecting to us. When it comes to having that show window, when others are watching, we behave in one way. And at home, when we are with family members, there is another type of behavior that is seen. No assistance, no support, right? The women need some help at home. Men are not there to do that, or vice versa. It can be any kind of situation, right? So that essential quality, what we present, we should have with us, right? So, and if not, then we should try to cultivate that. That's very, very important. Life, it makes you think. So that's the first thing, becoming aware of the situation. Now, the second thing that we will talk about is analysis. In analysis, what we can do is we can either change the external environment that we have so that, you know, we remain the same, but the environment should change. But that's a very difficult and hefty task. We don't have the empowerment to do that, okay, oftentimes. Second thing we can do is to bring the change in you. It's an inside out approach. So when you in yourself have changed, then you can react properly to the situations that are in the outside environment to relieve your stress. Third thing you can do is to manage stress outside, is to manage the stress. It's an outside in approach. Somehow try to manage the stress, right? Now we will go through these three later on. Before that, we see actions. The third thing we should do is to take an action. So in Gita, Krishna guides Arjun through the same strategy. There is an analysis of the situation, analyzing, observing the armies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, chapter 1. There's an analysis happening. Who's where? How are they standing? What do they have? You know, and all the different descriptives are given. Then, so that's an awareness of the situation. And then analysis happens. Arjun is analyzing, and Krishna is making some commentaries. Once Arjun submits to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to find out what to do. And finally, after Krishna tells what is to be done, Arjuna takes an action, right? Action has to be taken. The action in the situation that we are talking about here for a stress can be a temporary stopgap solution or a permanent solution, right? Sorry for the sound. Temporary stopgap solution, right? These are temporary things that can happen. An example can be taken is if somebody is having a boil, right? A little sore that keeps coming up on the body. The temporary solution is to apply an ointment to get rid of that boil that keeps coming up, that sore that keeps coming up. That is just a temporary solution, but the boil will keep coming up. Why? Because the problem is in the blood. And the permanent solution, in order for the boil not to come up again, is to purify the blood, eat things that help in cleansing of the blood so that the boil cannot grow in that environment. That is a better solution if one wants to be completely free from this particular problem that is occurring. So the stress level will be low. Now, temporary solutions are stopgap solutions, and examples can be in times of distress. What people do, they do breathing exercises, self management exercises, massage is there, massage therapy, mental imagery, music is being played to soothe and calm and distress a person. Uh, Stretching exercises, yoga, enough sleep, interpersonal skills, being assertive, listening, and stress restrained thinking. These are some of these stopgap problems that people are resorting to nowadays. But these are just temporary. It's called the band-aid approach, right? Permanent solution is what I call the ABC formula. A means accept and love God. B means find the distinction between who you are. You are not the body, you are the soul. Body and soul distinction. Third is how you, after understanding the highest goal of life, who we are, then taking the action, which we said before. Action has to happen, which is chanting and prayer. So, and we'll see how this is enunciated through the scriptures to be the best solution overall, right? Temporary fixes will only result in the issue resolving temporarily, and then the problem will come again. But if we have a permanent thing in place, then that issue, even though if it comes, you'll be able to manage the issue well. Why? Because you are correctly situated in your understanding, in your consciousness. And that is what the International Society for Krishna Consciousness aims to do. So, we are not human beings with a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings with a human experience, right? Try to absorb that. We are not human beings with a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings. We are the spirit souls with a human experience right now. We are in this human form of life. So we are in this human form of life having a human experience. But in fact, we are spiritual beings. That is one important thing to understand. And when Krishna and Arjun, they are having their conversation in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjun is asking things and giving his justifications while being on the material platform. He's saying, these are my family's relatives. How can I fight? How can I kill them? When he says kill them, he's referring to their bodies. Huh? The bodies will die anyway. We are spiritual beings with a human experience. The body is bound to be lost anyhow during the journey of life. Huh? And then in the 8,400,000 species of life, we can have any kind or any form of the body. The thing that is important to understand is when we have a spiritual existence, we should give that existence a spiritual means to come out from the bodily bondage. As we go along, we'll try to understand this in a little more detail. Sorry for the sound again. Our existence, if we are not in the spiritual existence, trying to undertake spiritual activities is like that of a fish out of water. So if you take the fish out of water and say, hey fish, let's go for a very wonderful dance session or a very wonderful trip in a plane, will the fish be happy? The fish is completely stressed out. The fish is not happy at all. Why? Because its natural environment where it will thrive is missing, and we are bringing it out from its natural environment, its natural habitat. Similarly, we as human beings, as spiritual beings which are in the human conditioning right now, we also, when we are disconnected from spirituality, from bhakti yoga, then the problem is we are having stress. We are in an unnatural environment for us as in the spirit soul. The spirit soul is Satchidananda. It has the ability to enjoy eternally, live eternally. And it's full of knowledge, bliss. So all these things, if it's full of, it wants to experience that once again. And how it can experience it is by reconnecting itself to the same realm where it belongs, which is the spiritual realm, spiritual activities. Therefore, when we put the fish back in the water, the fish is very happy and satisfied and swims away without any stress. Like that, ladies and gentlemen, we as human beings, as spiritual beings in the human condition of life, we would want to be connected with bhakti, reading scriptures, connecting with Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Ramachandra, Dashavataras. All these things are very, very important in order for us to have that important experience in our journey of life and reconnect to get rid of the stress that we have. Now, if we think we are the body, some of us who may be watching on YouTube, Facebook, who are not regular to the calls, might be thinking, I have always had a body, so I think I'm the body. If you analyze the component or composition of the body, there is calcium in the body, iron, phosphorus, there's water content, and many other such similar substances, right? So if you take the value of each of those substances and equate it, right, then you get very close to 150 rupees or about $2, right? Now, if there is a difference, a variance in calculation, you can increase that margin to $5 also. And let's see. Now the question is, are you just a bag of flesh worth $5? That is not true at all. We are not that. Nobody likes to hear that, right? Because we are not the body. We are not that bag of flesh and bones and whatnot in the body. We are not that. We are distinct from the body. We are separate from the body. Therefore, we say it's my body, my hand, my eyes. So who am I? I am the owner and superior person that dwells in the body, that lives in the body, and I am that spirit soul, right? So the spirit soul is spiritual in nature. It needs a spiritual experience. So let us come out from the material conditionings and enable ourselves to give us a very spiritual experience in the journey of life. So the distinction between body and soul is misidentification. Uh, Misidentification that we are the body and not the soul. When we have that misidentification, then always we will be in trouble. Why? Because whatever happens outside which affects the body, we will be very much tied up with that and we will identify ourselves like that. So if you are traveling in a car, let's see, this is a Mercedes. If you're traveling in a Mercedes and somebody hits your car, gets into an accident, you'll come out from the car and say, why did you hit me? But sir, I'm not hitting you. I ended up hitting your car. You are not the car, you are the driver of the car. But we misidentify. So similarly, in the journey of life, we keep misidentifying ourselves, right? And we try to build a relationship with the things around us based on bodily conception. An example, this is my house. This is my son. This is my daughter, my family, my money, my bank account, maham mameti. It's all is mine and I'm the enjoyer. When that tendency exists, then there is a big problem and we will be in stress all the time. So identifying ourselves as the spiritual being that is existing in this form of life today and giving that spiritual element whatever it needs to be happy is important. And we can engage all the material things for that very spiritual purpose. That should be the goal. Now let's see how the mechanism of the mind is. So there is this intelligence that is the decision maker, that is the driver. The decision maker is the driver that drives the mind to make a particular decision. The mind is the storehouse of thoughts, unfulfilled desires, previous experiences, imprints are always there in the mind. How does the mind get these imprints? Is through the senses that we have. The eyes will see, the nose will smell, tongue will taste, ears will hear, and skin will touch. And all these senses, once they are in contact with the objects that are outside, they will send signals to the mind. Oh, mind, look at this beautiful thing. I must have it. So the desire develops. Intelligence, if it does not intervene in the process and say, is it a real need or is just a want? Let's distinguish between what you need versus what you want. If it doesn't do that, then we end up going and buying that item. And once you've bought that item, whatever, be it a very expensive house, very expensive car, or whatever, then you end up paying for that throughout your life in distress, right? A small decision, but a big impact throughout your life. So the decisions that we make day to day, we should be very, very thoughtful in what we are deciding and what's the impact that we will feel throughout our existence. Look at the chariot of the body. Now, this is a very good analogy that is provided. So we have the horses that are indicated in this chariot as the senses. The horses are controlled by the reins. The reins are the mind, and the person holding the reins is the intelligence. The intelligence should decide based on who's present, who's in the chariot, the soul. The soul is the person that is there in that chariot, and the chariot is moving. The driver is taking the chariot because the soul's presence is in the chariot. The soul should be oriented in the direction of the super soul of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the intelligence should distinguish between what is right and what is wrong to make the mind is the biggest enemy if it is uncontrolled, to make the mind think that one has to do the right thing, and then orient the senses in the right direction that takes us toward the Supreme Lord. So that's the purpose of this analogy over here. How we can make that happen is through chanting and prayers. Chanting and prayers are very, very important, and we will see shortly what does the scripture say about this. What do we chant? We chant Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we can be very, very happy while we are chanting this mantra, as Srila Prabhupada has said. If we follow the principles of chanting, the regulative principles of freedom, which is chanting while not eating meat, not doing any intoxication, not doing any gambling, and not doing any illicit sex. If we are engaged in chanting while not doing the other things that we should refrain from, then gradually the mirror of the heart is cleansed. And that is one of the very, very important benefits of chanting, that one is able to be at peace. Huh? Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram. That is the peace formula is existing. If we want to be peaceful, we should please Krishna. Huh? He is the ultimate source of all peace. If we can please Krishna through devotional service execution, then we will be happy, our family will be happy, and we will continue to manage the stress that is existing around us through difficult situations that may be presented to us at any point in time in life. Hmm? That can always happen. And the Mahamantra that we say, that has been given to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This beautiful mantra has been given for our deliverance. We again are not the body, we are the spirit soul. And we, being the spirit soul, have to understand that the way in which we come out from this cycle of birth and death, we are trapped in this bodily form right now. After this body, who knows what other bodies we will have if we are not very careful in our devotional practice. So that awareness is important. Mantra consists of two words, man and mind, man and tra. So man means mind and tra means to deliver. So what does it deliver us from when we are chanting? It delivers us from the contaminated material thoughts. It delivers the mind from the contaminations of our consciousness. Whatever may be contaminating our consciousness, we can think of so many things out of greed, anger, lust, envy, pride. So many things we can think out of all these six anarthas or unwanted things in life. And when we think all those, we start to get an imprint in our heart of all these remnants are still building up. And then we have to go through that uh, in a very distressful way. Why? Because when we think negative about others, then you cannot develop a positivity within yourself if you are thinking negative about others, right? So stress will exist. So then, how this mantra works is that it will deliver the mind from those stressful situational thinking and elevate oneself to thinking about superior things in life, like Supreme Personality of Godhead, the process of bhakti, devotees, service, and very, very positive and optimistic things in life that will drive one in the right direction, positive direction, one step at a time. It's a gradual process. If one wants to slowly progress, take it slowly. But if one wants to quickly make the progress, then follow everything word for word. Whatever the Supreme Lord has given through the scriptures, through his bona fide representatives, follow everything word for word. Take the next step in maturing your bhakti through initiation, the process of formally accepting the chanting of the holy name under bona fide guidance in presence of Vaishnavas. And then once you have taken initiation, then further mature your bhakti through service, through execution of whatever you have promised, right? And continuing to serve not only your internal family, but external society and global society at large, right? That is very, very important if the bhakti matures. Now, there are certain examples that I chose to pick from the current modern day that shows how many people took to chanting, the process of chanting the holy name, and what did they say after taking up the process of chanting the holy names of Krishna. So here is an example. He's a French director, 29-year-old. His name is Jean-Claude Alicia. Jean-Claude Alicia is the youngest director of 3M Inc., a company in France. And what did he say after he took to the process of chanting? And as you can see in the first picture, he's reading Gita. He said, everything started happening for me when I began chanting Hare Krishna. So he's acknowledging Hare Krishna is what it is that he took up, chanting of Hare Krishna, and he took up the chanting of Hare Krishna. Other things started to manifest in his life. Everything was happening as the Supreme Lord's uh, uh, mercy on him. There is the other person here. His name is Alfred Brush Ford. He's the owner of Ford Motors. Some of us know him by Ambarish Prabhu, that name. So he said, chanting Hare Krishna has made a tremendous impact in my life. And these are not ordinary people. These are people who have grown to certain heights, right, in their materialistic life as well as spiritual life. These are very, very rich people, as you can see. But our impetus is not to be attracted by their wealth. Our impetus should be to be attracted by what they are attracted by. And they are attracted by chanting of Hare Krishna. We should be attracted by that. And so he took initiation under bona fide guidance of His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. As you can see in that picture, there is a little frame on the wall that is Srila Prabhupada. And under his guidance, Alfred Ford started practicing. bhakti. And that is one of success stories we have. Another one here is Andy Desai, leading Indian industrialist. Many of us know him also. Uh, he is the owner and CEO of GE Apar Lighting, SEMA Tubes, and all those things listed there. So he's also been practicing the chanting of the holy names, and he said, I've been chanting Hare Krishna for many years, and I've never found anything more pleasurable. This is very, very amazing words that he has said. There is nothing more pleasurable when you are in a very, very demanding position that demands a lot from you, whether it's a housewife, whether it's the CEO of a company, whether it's an accountant somewhere, whether it's whatever, doctor, engineer, whatever profession you can think of. If it's a very demanding role that you are in, there'll be actually a lot of stress also coming your way to handle. If you don't handle it properly, then there'll be a lot of trouble ahead. Huh? Distress will overtake you, and you'll have to resort to different temporary means of resolving the stress that you're going through. But the permanent means is what these devotees have been doing, and that is taking to the chanting of the holy names, right? And that makes their lives better, and it enhances and gives them more pleasure. So chanting Hare Krishna is very, very blissful and a blessed thing to do. The next one here is Rishikesh Mafatlal. Many of us know him as well, CEO of Mafatlal Fabrics and Group of Industries. So he has also taken initiation under bona fide guidance of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, who is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And he has surrendered his life as well, being in such high level executive positions. These devotees have dedicated their lives into chanting the holy names, and that's one way in which stress can easily be relieved, right? It requires some practice, but nothing is impossible when you have the willingness to do. Where there is a will, there is a way. And this is what Mr. Mafatlal said. He said, chanting Hare Krishna has helped me face all the ups and downs in my life with a great confidence and peace of mind. So that's a very, very important thing. And we all want to do that. We want to be able to tackle the ups and downs in life with great confidence and having a peace and stability of mind. Huh? And that happens when we follow those who have already followed the process and who have already seen the results, like the devotees that we are talking about. They have followed the process of chanting and hearing, and they have seen how much benefits this process gives. And these are not the people that we speak about from books. These are people that live with us today in this modern world. Those people we are talking about that have actually seen, followed the process, and we have known them, right? Or you can find out about them. So these are the people, and they have done bhakti, chanting of the holy names of the Supreme Lord. Now look at this particular person here. Her name is Anne Schofus. She's a Dutch model. So on the left picture, Vogue magazine had her picture, and you can see that picture appearing in a different way. And the same person on the right hand side is dancing with bead bag around her necks, right? Around her neck. And she's dancing to the tunes of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is the beauty of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It transforms the life of individuals from whatever they used to be to whatever they are today. And here she said, chanting helped me give up bad habits. It changed my vision of things. So chanting helped her change her vision of things. And this is very, very important. To give up bad habits, people often ask, what should I do, Prabhuji? I have so many bad habits. I can't give up this bad habit or that bad habit. Well, just take up chanting, right? Take up chanting. Start chanting the holy names of Krishna every day without fail. When you do that, certainly all these bad habits will wash away, will go away, because the power of the holy names is it can remove any anartha that is dwelling in us. And this is just another example. Let's go and see another example. Vicky Overton. She's a leading European model and she appeared in different European magazines, as you can see on top. And on the right side, you see a picture of the same personality who is now seeking the process of chanting and hearing. And this is what she said. By starting to chant Hare Krishna, I feel tremendous happiness. We started with the topic of stress, and now we are going toward the permanent solution of how stress can be relieved through chanting of the holy names of Krishna. It requires an effort to do that, but it's an effort in the right direction, which these devotees that we are talking about have already implemented in their lives. And you can see the smile. Another thing to recognize in this picture is the top two pictures, there is no smile with the teeth showing. On the picture on the right, she's really happy while she's chanting the holy names of Krishna. So you can recognize, you can see, and here is another example. Marco Fervini, he is Italy's top furniture designer. Now, you can Google and see this particular person, he has said, chanting makes me feel close to God. This is what it does. It makes you feel close to God. And when you are closer to God, the protector of everyone, then certainly all the distress that is out there, you do not feel, you can overcome the distress easily. You do not feel the effect of the impact of the distress on your own life so much. Why? Because you are able to connect with the source of happiness. Huh? When you connect with the source of all happiness through calling on the names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the distress fades away. David Wolf, and this would be the last person we'll talk about, then we'll go into scriptures. He has a Master of Social Service program at Florida State University. He's a researcher for studying the effects of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He said Mahamantra significantly reduces stress, depression, and the mode of ignorance, and considerably increases mode of goodness. This is a research-based person talking from his experience teaching at Florida University. So it reduces stress. It's guaranteed, it's proven. We've seen that come across from the scriptural point of view as well. Now let's move one step ahead. And I just want to acknowledge that this presentation is based on the teachings of His Divine Grace Abhay Bhakti Vedant Swami Maharaj Prabhupada from the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, and he's our founder Acharya, a person whom we all revere as our spiritual master, who has founded the society. Now, coming to the chanting of the holy names. In the Padma Purana, we have a very beautiful verse, and in the remaining 6 minutes, we will try to look at some of the quotations from the different scriptures that we can talk about here and see the benefits of chanting. So Padma Purana states, Nama Paradha Yuktanam Namani Eva Haranti Agham Avishranti Prayuktani Tanya Evartha Karanicha. Even if one chants the Hare Krishna mantra offensively, one can nullify those offenses by continuously chanting without deviation. One who becomes accustomed to this practice will always remain in a pure transcendental position, untouchable by sinful reactions. So here we see that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even though chanted offensively, it can nullify the offenses by continuously chanting without deviation, right? It can nullify the offenses. It has the potency to do that, and it does that. One who becomes accustomed to this practice will always remain in pure transcendental position, untouched by any sinful reactions of this material world, which means we will not be sinning anymore once we have taken the process of chanting the holy names of Lord. Why will we not be sinning consciously? Is because the holy name will purify our hearts. That is one of the things that it does. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam. So we know through Shikshastakam The first thing that happens is Cheto Darpanam. Cleaning of the mirror of the heart is what happens when we constantly and continuously chant the holy names of Krishna. And that is extremely important for us to understand. The next thing we want to talk about is from the Shikshastakam prayers, chapter 20 of the Antya Leela. So the Antya Leela has the title of chapter 20 is Shikshastakam prayers. 20.14, it says, Krishna premodgama premamrita ashvadana Krishna prapti sevamrita samudre majjana. Translation: the result of chanting is that one awakens his love for Krishna and tastes transcendental bliss. Ultimately, one attains the association of Krishna and engages in his devotional service, as if immersing himself in a great ocean of love. So here, very clearly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that the love of Godhead is awakened through chanting of the holy names of Krishna. And if we do, so we started with the class title as stress. If we want to be de-stressed, completely free from stress, then chanting will awaken the love of God, through which all the anxiety and stress and everything else that is there will look like the water contained in the hoof print of a calf. Very small. Is it difficult to cross the water that is in the hoof print of a calf? If you want to go from this side to that side and the hoof print is there, is it difficult? It is not difficult. Why? Because it's a very small puddle of water. You see it in proportion, right? You have a bigger pacing. Your foot can step and have a stamina and length and breadth which is much wider than that little puddle of water. Similarly, the human being that we are a spiritual being in a human form right now. We have potentials and bigger potentials, much bigger than the water contained in the print of a calf. That is just a very small thing. Our potentials are much bigger. We can easily do that containment of stress if we are chanting the holy names of the Lord to overcome that and develop that love of Godhead further that is in our region of the heart. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy Shravan Adi Shuddha Chitta Kare Udoy. So the love of Godhead is dormant in the heart, and we have to reawaken that by reconnecting to Krishna through the process of chanting the holy names of Krishna, and that will help us to be at peace, to reawaken the love, and to experience the joy associated with reawakening the love of Godhead through service. And then in the Shikshastakam prayers, Lord Sri Chaitanya describes the progressive benefits of chanting Hare Krishna. For the sake of time, it's only 1 minute left before we hit the top of the hour. I wish to ask you, if you are interested, please go and see what does the Shikshastakam prayers symbolize, right? What is being described, the meanings of the prayers, and in that way, you can further understand the benefits of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. At the end, I wish to thank everyone for your most wonderful time here. And if there is any questions, I wish to take those questions now. Please feel free to ask, and kindly forgive if there have been any mispronunciations, any corrections, anything else that may have been coming up from my mouth here. Understand that whatever was good was a result of the teachings of previous acharyas that has been brought over here. And whatever has faults have been committed, that's my own, and I seek forgiveness for that. Thank you all very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Shri Shri Nitai Sachinandan Dev Bhagwan ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much.
Jai, His Rohinikishor Guru ki jai. Thank you, Puri, for the wonderful, amazing lecture. How it is amazing how you took us through a journey from stress to the solutions of stress, the issues of the mind, and how to control the mind. how to feel and how to ultimately find joy. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this beautiful journey you took us through. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So I think it's 12:30, and I think Mayapur. I'm going to share Mayapur TV, and the Aarti will start soon. So we have the schedule. Shrikar will be singing the Aarti, and then Lokanshu will be singing Narsimha Aarti, and then Arpana will be singing Jarashtra. So Shrikar, if you could stop at 12:50, so we can start Narsimha Aarti on time, that would be really helpful. Okay, Jai. So I'll just maybe Shrikar can start. I'll share the screen.
Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhattavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nitya Sachinandana, Nitya Sachinandana, Nitya Sachinandana, Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitya Sachinandana, Nitya Sachinandana, Nitya Sachinandana, Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitya Gaura Chandra, Jaya Nitya Gaura Chandra, Jaya Nitya Gaura Chandra, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Chandra, Nitai Sachinandan Dev Bhagwan ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Chandra ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you so much, Shikhar, for the wonderful, amazing, beautiful Lotus Kitchen as always. Thank you so much. Jai Nitai Gaur Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. And thank you so much for the wonderful lesson. Thank you so much, Shikhar.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Thank you. Lokanshu, are you ready? Pujaris are happy to and the altar for Narsimha Aarti. Hey, Krishna, Lokanshu, are you there? Nina Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mati, we can wait till the Pujaris come. Yeah, I think Prabhu is here. You can start Narsimha Aarti.
Yes.
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya Pranaya कमल हरे नाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनु वृंदा हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशव हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय प्रहलाद महाराज 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 जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय जय श्री भगवान की जय जय भक्तवृंद की जय हरि हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Lokanshu and Panchul. Thank you, Anina Mataji. Thank you, Zikor Prue. It was wonderful.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you so much. Jai. So we have Arpan now. Who's going to sing Chaurashtakam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes. Very well.
Raje Prasidam Navanita Chauram Gopanganam Chadukula Chauram Anika Janma Jita Baba Chauram Chauragraganya Purusham Namami Shiradikaya Hidaya Sacharam Navam Buddhasha Malakanti Chauram Padashritanam Cha Samasta Chauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami Akinchani Kritya Pada Chitamya Karati Bhiksu Atigela Hina Enapya Hobi Shanaksura Edri Krishna Srutova Najagatrayepi Yadyanamapi Aratya Sesha Giri Prasara Abhima Parasin Acharya Rupa Nanu Choraedri Krishna Srutoma Namaya Kadapi Danam Chamanam Chatatrindiyani Pranam Shahidva Mama Sarvaeva Palaya Sekutra Rito Dyadora Tvam Bhakti Damna Simaya Niroda Chinta Sigara Yamapasavana Pinta Sibima Baba Pasavana Chinta Sisarva Sasamastabandam Naivatmano Bhakta Pritam Tubanda Anmana Seta Vasarasi Gauri Karagrihe Dukha Maye Nivada Yavasya He Chora Ade Chiraye Swachora He To Sachitame Dandam Karavasasa Talide Madiye Bhakti Pasadida Vandana Nisalasan Ram Krishna He Pralaya Koti Santanerapi Sarva Sachara Hridaya Nahi Mujami Raja Prasida Navanita Chora Kapanganam Cha Gurukula Choram Aneka Janma Sita Papatoram Chauragraganyam Nisham Namami Chauragraganyam Purusam Namami Chauragraganyam Purusam Namami Shri Shri Radha Damodara Ki Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande. Haribol, thank you.
Hare Krishna Jai. Thank you so much. Beautiful rendition of Chorashtakam. Thank you. Jai. Stop.